All right. A new day, a new challenge. Same as the old challenge. We're going to start picking this thing apart. We're going to pull everything off the chassis that we can, or that we should. And we're going to extract the push button assemblies and coils and push button adjusters on the back of rack. Bert. I was just going over my notes, making sure that I got my T's crossed and my I's dotted, poked out. And it appears that I have, after this is a culmination of a couple of radios. This here is a little bit more enhanced to enlarge the diagram of the routing and connections. And this one here is of all the coils that are mounted up on the rack there, because that assembly there will separate from the main push button assembly. So I had to go through and double check that I got everything in its place and a place for everything, Ma. So now that we've done that, we can do a destructo coming at ya. Stay tuned. Okay, took about 20 minutes. Got it. Now, that you can take this assembly out without having to disconnect all of these lines here from the adjusters on the for the push buttons. They come out as an assembly. You can, if it's easier to desolder these, yeah, I would suggest that. But don't keep too much heat on these things, on this board. That's the reason why. Now, all your trimmers through here, it's easier just to snip right tight to the thing. Make you a diagram first. That's what I'd suggest, because a lot of these wires here will go back to there. Yes, and the one, there's maybe a couple. One that ties to the center line of that pot, and another one ties to the ground here on this terminal strip, and that's about it for that. You have one long ass wire that comes back over to a terminal strip over here, and then you got some that go to a terminal strip there. I just snip them, boom, 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 boom. Now the ones on the antenna terminal here, you can desolder those if you so choose. It's not for the faint of heart. Now, if these caps down in here, you're gonna have a tough time getting to those. And well, this here you can disconnect from the back panel and fold it back like that, and get it out of your way to get to these. But that one tucked back down in there, it's going to be a toughie. Hopefully you can clean up these contacts if they're not too bad from above here. If not, and you got problems in the thing, like I know with the other previous 355s, um, these sliders contacts in here, they're a little tough to get to because the board being mounted upside down, and this here is facing the panel there, so it's unobtainable. Unobtainium. um, do the best you can, because if you decide to take this out and you have to clean it up, you better make you a diagram. And it's quite challenging, real challenging. So good luck with it if you decide to do one. So we're going to get these cleaned up. We're going to get that cleaned up. Now that we got this extracted and everything, I may go ahead and clean up the chassis. I still got to remove the can on the transformer. And we'll start hacking away at all these paper caps. So see you on the next segment. Okay, well, if you recall in one of my earlier videos on this model, the 355 Philco, I made mention about if there was any rubber wiring, and a lot of this was still pliable, flexible, not hardened. Although, see that red wire? I mean, it's still pliable, but it's just missing a section of stuff on it. Now, I may have caused that, and I may not have. But it seems to me like, if I recall some of the other videos I've seen of others doing their thing, most of them will talk themselves out of going the full mile. I mean, they'll every 30 seconds or to a minute, they're flip-flopping, and that tells me that they're trying to convince themselves not to go that far. Just patch it up and that'll be good enough. Well, I couldn't do that with this. I thought about it, and I was thinking, ooh, yeah, it's going to be a big deal, man. Do you really want to do it? Well, I'm going to sell these radios. I don't keep any of the radios that I refurbish. I sell them off. I mean, some go real quick. I mean, they don't even sit on the market for an hour, and somebody bags them. Especially the ones that I've went the extra mile on. If you're going to keep it in your stash, do what you will. I mean, it's your radio. But if you're going to sell it, you should do a better job. I'll just leave it at that. So, that being said, here I am, between a rock and a hard spot, as Biden would say. I'm going to go through and do the same thing with this one that I did with the last one. Strip it down and put fresh wiring in it, even though it don't need it. So I just wanted to cover, touch base with everybody on that. I got this separated on that. There was enough flexation in that thing that one coil connection wire broke loose from the section here, switching section, but that's no big deal. Coil's still great though. These here was a little complex. I found the best solution is heat the ones and pick the wires loose, especially on the ones that have like these with a flexible braided coil wire on it, because um, they didn't give you much to work with. So snipping that will just make things a little more difficult when you go back to put it back together. But all the other ones with the wires on them and everything, snip it, because no sense superheating these contacts on the phenolic board. You'll just cause yourself some grief if you go too far. So I found it's best to snip. So enough talk. We're going to get busy and strip this down more and get it ready for cleanup. So see you in the next segment.